Alright, so I'm going to give you guys a very quick and effective magical working that anybody can do regardless of where you are in your spiritual or magical journey. And so actually we'll be working with magical talismans. Now, what is the difference between a charm, an amulet, and a talisman? Charms are used to bring in good luck. You typically keep them on you like a trinket, whatever. When you leave out the house, you're typically wearing your charm somewhere on your person. You can think four-leaf clover, rabbit's foot, those type of things, right? An amulet is used to ward things away. It's to ward off negative energy. It's to protect you against harm of all kinds, right? These are very ancient. They come from very ancient practice, very superstitious background, but they are effective. They're powerful. They work. Now, a talisman is a bit complex in that you can use a talisman for multiple different things. In fact, any purpose can be enchanted and infused into a talisman. Now, why do they work? Well, just like the air that you breathe in, you cannot physically see it with these eyes, but you experience breathing. You experience that air. Energy works in the same way. You cannot see energy, but you experience it, right? Energy is a living, active force that brings about changes, that brings about experience, and it brings about perceptions and circumstances, right, into your current physical reality. Now, you as the magician, you as the sorcerer, you as the spell worker, you as the witch, you as the healer, you as the energy worker, whatever you want to call yourself, right? You are working these unseen forces that you cannot physically see but experience, right? Through cosmic law, through the understanding of the cosmic law, and you are manipulating and molding these forces to bring about certain changes within your reality. The longer and the more, with the more intense focus, you focus and you mold and you form energy, the stronger that energy gets, right? You draw upon that energy and you draw upon it and you push force into it by focusing it. The minute this mind focuses on something, energy automatically goes to that thing, right? So when you are focusing energy on an object through various different means, because there's various different means to pull upon and various different energetic forms that you can pull upon, right? That's why there's so many different ways to do different spells and different things, because there are endless amount of energies and endless amount of means that you can use to pull that energy down. And the more that you have a focal point to focus that energy on, the stronger that energetic presence becomes. So essentially what you are doing is you are focusing an intense amount of energy, right? And you are drawing it and you are bringing it into an object. I'm just using my daughter's bow as an example. And you're forcing that unseeable, invisible energy to go into a form, a physical form. All right? And that form is going to hold your intent as long as you keep that object, okay? And you can choose to continue to infuse energy upon it. The first thing you want to do is you're going to want to get the object, right? Preferably get something that is associated to whatever your will is going to be. Let's say something with the subconscious mind. We want to heal. We want to heal subconscious blockages. We have a certain blockage around money. You can get a tiny pillow. They got them little soft cushions, right? You can get a little pillowcase or a little cover for that pillow that has something to do with wealth or money, like dollar signs or coins or something like that. All right. The conscious is your waking mind. The subconscious mind really is that dormant part, that sleep part. When you are close to sleep or you're in that sleep state is when the subconscious mind comes to the forefront. So that pillow represents sleep, right? But the dollar signs, the money that is on that pillow, represents the blockages that you're trying to break through, which is the blockages around wealth, right? So that's already symbolically expressing something to your subconscious mind, right? Just the image itself. Get something that is associated to your will, what it is that you are trying to overcome. So the next part of this, the talisman creation, is infusing it with your intent. What is the vehicle, what is the conduit that you will use to move that energy of intent into the actual image? All right. Some people like to use this part of the spell. They like to use a candle magic at this time and use the wax from the candle when the candle goes down after they've done the candle spell, and pour it onto the object, right, as a symbol of transferring that energy that they ignited, that they drew, that they formed with the candle spell onto the actual talisman. The most effective thing and the most easy and simplest way I would go about it in infusing my talisman with the energy is by physically holding it in my hand and coming up with an enchantment, whether that be an actual script, right? Words of power, something somebody else wrote, a poem, the book of Psalms. Within the Kabbalah, there are so many different words of power, spoken words of power that you can use in ritual and enchantment, right? Something that relates to your will, what it is that you're trying to do, spoken words that ignites your body with power, something that you can feel, right? A lot of people like to use the book of Psalms, and they attribute whatever psalm that they're using, dedicating it to the ritual, dedicating it to the enchantment of the talisman or of the whatever it is that they're doing. You can make up your own, whatever cluster of words or one word that represent your intent that you really feel emotionally connected and drawn to. You're going to hold your object. You're going to hold that whatever it is that you're using, your talisman, in your hand, eyes closed, and you're going to recite those words over and over and over again, visualizing the power and the intent of what you're saying going into the talisman. You're going to feel it until you actually feel a vibration. You're going to focus on that thing so hard that you could sit there for a whole hour if you wanted to. Then your talisman is activated. So once you feel it is activated, once you feel satisfied with your chanting and all that, putting it into that talisman, I'm going to sit there for a couple minutes, take a deep breath, really ground the energy into the talisman. Picture white light leaving your body from your arms, from your hands, all the way into the talisman, grounding the energy into it, locking it into it. Then you're going to put that talisman wherever it is, whether you hang it up on your wall, if it's on a paper, or put it under your pillow, right? Or keep it on your body. You're going to keep it somewhere where you can see it and you can interact with it every day, and as it's bringing forth your will, all right? You also want to maybe try to charge it once a week. So you want to do this practice over again to keep that talisman charged with energy. I also want to say this. If it's a physical object that you have purchased from a store you received or you found laying around your house, whatever, you want to cleanse it maybe with an incense before you imbue it with your energy, just to neutralize whatever energetic forms that was already surrounding it before you started working with it. I'll say once a week or even a couple times a week, maybe even once a day before you go to bed. Interact with it. Visualize it. Hold it, do the ritual over again if you want to, chanting, doing your words of power. You can even create a special word that you use as an intent to continue to infuse it with energy throughout the day. And you want to do that because the more energy you put into that talisman, the stronger that it will become. I like to work with things long term to continue to strengthen it and strengthen it and strengthen it over time.